So in the end of chapter 9, the Greasers and the Socs got into a big fight, and the Greasers ended up winning the fight, and then they went to go see Johnny. Dally and Ponyboy went to go see Johnny, and sadly Johnny ended up dying when they got there to see him. So now we're going to start chapter 10. I walked down the hall in a daze. Dally had taken the car, and I started a long walk home in a stupor. So he's kind of like, what is going on? Johnny was dead. I wandered around for hours. I might have stumbled around all night, except for a man asked me if I wanted a ride. Are you okay, kid? You look like you've been in a fight. I have been. A rumble. I'm okay. What's your address? I'm not going to dump a hurt kid out on the streets this time of night. So a couple things I want to mention to you. It is never okay to get in a car with someone you do not know. Never, ever, ever do that. And never, ever, ever give someone your address. Those are two really unsafe things that Ponyboy did. It's good to know your address in case of police officers or a fireman or someone might need it. But don't just tell anyone your address, okay? Check with your parents if you can before you ever do that. But the Ponyboy gotten a ride home from the hospital after Johnny died, and this guy drove him to his house, and he got out. Thanks a lot. What was left of our gang was sitting in my living room. They all looked up when I walked in, and Derry leaped to his feet. Where have you been? Ponyboy, what's the matter? I looked at all of them, a little frightened. Johnny, he's dead. We told him about beating the Socs, and I don't know. He just died. He told me to stay gold, I remembered, but I don't know what he's talking about. Dallas is gone too, I said. He ran out like a devil was after him. He's going to blow up. He just couldn't take it. The phone rang. Derry said hello and listened, and then he hung up quickly. So Derry picked up the phone, and it was Dally. It was Dally, Derry said. He phoned from a booth. He's just robbed a grocery store, and the cops are after him. We gotta hide him. He'll be at the lot in a minute. So the same lot where they just got in a fight. He'll be at the lot in a minute. We all left the house in a dead run. So you're thinking about what's happening in a dead run. Okay, so you're thinking, is he just kind of taking his time? I'm thinking he's running, he's darting, he's slamming the door behind him. That's the picture in my mind, okay? This one, super fast. Okay, picture that movement when you make that picture in your mind. And if you picture the number, they said a lot of the gang was still in the living room. So I'm picturing maybe 8, 10 guys go running out to the lot, okay? We reached the vacant lot just as Dally came in, running as hard as he could from the opposite direction. The wail of sirens grew louder. So what is it you're picturing? When you see the word siren or hear the word siren, what do you picture? Maybe a fireman, a fire truck, an ambulance, or a police car? Okay, well, Dally just robbed a grocery store. So what do you think it is? What siren? Do you think it's a ambulance? Do you think it's a police car? Or do you think it's a fire truck? I hope you said police car, right? It's probably the police car because he just robbed the grocery store. The wail of sirens grew louder, and then a police car pulled in across the street from the lot. Doors slammed as the policeman leaped out. Dally had reached the circle of light under the street lamp, and jerked back an object from his waistband. I remember his voice. I've been carrying a heater, he said. That's another name for a gun. It ain't loaded, but it sure does help a bluff. So the gun has no bullets in it, but he's pulling it out to try to pretend like he might use a loaded gun, or he may have a loaded gun. Dally raised the gun, and I thought, you fool. They don't know that you're bluffing. And even as the policeman's gun spit fire into the night, I knew that was what Dally wanted. So Pony Boy is saying Dally wanted the policeman to think he had a loaded gun so that the police would shoot him. And because Dally didn't really want to go on living after Johnny. So this is some really heavy stuff. We said this is some adult stuff, and this is reading that all 8th graders do. I think because sometimes people feel really bad about some things, and it's okay to know that different teenagers go through different things, and sometimes they're really hard things and really sad things, and that hopefully you know that you've got people in your life that love you and care about you and want you to be able to talk to us if there are some bad things that are going in your life or that happen, okay? And then, so the policeman had just got done shooting Dally, and Dally was dead. I knew that was what he wanted. 2 friends of mine had died that night. One was considered a hero, and one a hoodlum. But I remembered Dally pulling Johnny through the window of the burning church, Dally risking his life for us, trying to keep Johnny out of trouble. But Dally didn't die a hero. The world was spinning around me, red mist that covered the lot. I felt myself swaying on my feet, and the ground rushed to meet me very suddenly. So if you remember, Pony Boy really hadn't been feeling very well. 2-Bit said, you don't look so good. Derry said, I don't think that you should be fighting. He got beat up by the Socias. He lost 2 friends that night, so he's in red zone. He's losing control. He's very sad, and he just passed out on the floor, on the ground of that vacant lot. When I woke up, it was light. It was awfully quiet, too quiet. I mean, our house is not naturally quiet. The radio's usually going full blast, and the TV's turned up loud, and people are wrestling and knocking lamps over and yelling at each other. Something was wrong. Something had happened. I couldn't remember what. Soda was sitting on the edge of my bed watching me. Soda, am I sick? Soda stroked my hair. Yeah, you're sick. Now be quiet. Is Derry sorry that I'm sick? Yeah, he's sorry you're sick. Now please, go back to sleep. I closed my eyes. I was awful tired. When I woke up next, Derry was asleep in the armchair. So now Pony Boy's talking to Derry. Hey, Derry, I said softly, shaking his knee. Wake up. What was the matter with me? He shook his head. I told you you were in no condition to get in that rumble or the fight. You're exhausted. You're in shock. You have a minor concussion. And then I remembered Dally and Johnny were dead. Don't you even remember being in the hospital? Derry asked me. I shook my head. I don't remember. You kept asking for me and Soda, and sometimes even for Mom and Dad, too. But mostly for Soda. Johnny left you a copy of Gone with the Wind. He told the nurse he wanted you to have it. So remember, 2-Bit had given Johnny that copy of Gone with the Wind, and then Johnny said he wanted Pony Boy to have it. I looked at the paperback lying on the table. I didn't want to finish it. "Where is Soda?" I asked. He came running in. "Hey, Pony Boy!" He leaped for me, but Derry caught him. "Gosh, you were sick. You feeling okay now?" "I am. I'm just a little hungry." And Derry said, "Well, how'd you like some mushroom soup? I'll go make you some. Soda Pop, take it easy on him." "Soda," I said suddenly, "what all did I say when I was delirious? You kept saying that Johnny didn't mean to kill that Soch." "Soda, did I ask for Derry when I was sick?" "Yeah, sure," he said. "You asked for him, and for me, sometimes Mom and Dad, and for Johnny." Oh, gee, I thought maybe I didn't ask for Derry. It was bugging me. Because remember, him and Derry kind of had a hard relationship, and he was sad. He was hoping that he had asked for his brother because he knows he loves him and he wants to have a relationship with him. Soda grinned. Remember, that means smile. He said, "Well, you did ask for Derry, so stop worrying." Scoot over. He crawled over me and flopped down, and before Derry came back in with the soup, we were both asleep. That's the end of chapter 10.